Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Nier Reincarnation video. And with the current event going on, we got a new free 4-star character in Theo, the Celebratory girl. Not only did we get her for free, but importantly, we were given all of the materials through the event shop to level her all the way to 90, plus to max level her weapon. So the question is it good? Is it actually worth using your leveling material, your weapon enhancing material? Should you invest into this character? Is she worth putting into your teams? Let's look at her, compare her to her other selves, you know what I mean? And yeah, let's do all that right now. All right, now first things first, big shout out to the members on YouTube and the patrons on Patreon. Y'all make this job possible. Thank you so much for that support. And yeah, you rock. Now, does Celebratory girl Theo rock as much as the members on YouTube? Immediate no, because she's not as cool as you guys, but is she actually cool? We can look at that and figure it out. What you're seeing on the screen here is her at level 90 and her stat pool. Let's take a peek at those, and then we're going to look at the rest of her and compare her to other Theos, because I think that's where the story lies. Now, her HP's at 5,100. That's pretty good. That's a good amount of HP. It's not insane like some of the other versions of Theo are, but 5,100, that will help her survive some tougher content. Attack at 3,171. This is middling Theo level attack. There are versions of her that are lower attack than that. There are versions of her that are higher attack than that. We'll show those off in a minute. Her defense at 3,300. This is good, but not excellent. Her agility is 1,000. She has 10% crit rate with 150% crit damage. So kind of what I would call a basic stat line, but that stat line does not tell her whole story. We need to click the Ascend tab here, and we fully ascended her. Obviously we have, because she's level 90. Now if you're new, when you fully ascend a character, it maxes out their 2 abilities right here, their 2 passive abilities. Vigor, this is what is boosting her attack to the number it is. It's a 20% attack boost. That's really nice. And then Void Rush, this is the hidden OP thing on her. What this ability does is increase the stats of equipped Dark Affinity weapons by 25%. Remember, you can equip 3 weapons on your unit. That's a 25% stat boost to maybe 3 weapons. If it's a dark element team, then yes, it's going to be 3 weapons. On any other element team, you are kind of incentivized to slot in some dark element fist weapons in her 2nd and 3rd slot for that big boost. So if you've invested into some dark fists, this is a big deal. And I bet you have invested into some dark fists. Let's go real quick to enhance. We're going to go look at weapons, and I'm going to show you why I bet you have invested in them. Right here, I've sorted by fists. Check this out. Here is her fists. So first of all, you're given all of the materials you need to max these fists out in the current event shop, in the same place where you can go max out this character. And check it out. This is a nice little stat block. 1,600 HP, 2,400 attack, 1,200 defense, and you'll boost that by 25% by putting him on Celebratory girl Theo. So this is automatically, this is going to be a really good offhand weapon for her, just because you're going to get massive amount of stats. The skills on this, we might as well take a look at this since this is a highlight of this unit. Let's highlight her weapon a little bit real quick too. Wicked Vigor, this is a 3-hit attack that increases your own attack by up to, let's scroll to the bottom, 20% for 10 seconds at max level. This is not going to do a ton of damage, but it will build her attack up a little bit. Overall, this is an okay move. I kind of like it. I'd say it's pretty average. The next one is really good though. Wicked Render times 4. This is going to, at max level, do 45% damage 4 times and do a 10% defense debuff for 10 seconds on the target. So if you time this right, with some of your bigger damage units like 2P, A2, something like that, if you have this move go off in a chain right before your high damage unit drops their character skill, this will really synergize well with them. I like this move actually quite a bit. For a free weapon, really nice. Now this also has Void Boon on it. This is the kind of passive ability here. Dark damage dealt up by 25% at max level. You, again, on a dark team, she's going to excel. 25% damage boost on your dark. That's really, really nice. And then you have to level these up, right? You have to invest in them, obviously, like any other weapon. But for a free weapon, this is pretty dang good. Now, you can ascend it with the other weapons. You can buy them all from the shop, so you don't need to really, like, invest in them that much. You can see I've already maxed out Vigor for a 10% attack boost on here. I really like that passive ability as well. Okay, let's continue. Why else is that dark 25% enhancement so good? Well, I bet all of you have this, and I bet all of you have this close to maxed out, if not all the way maxed out. This is the Emil heads from the Nier Automata collaboration. So regardless of like your spending level in the game, how many like OP units you have, I bet you built Emil heads because they were a big bonus giver and they were the free weapon from an earlier event that's actually still going on. That means with 2 events currently going on, you can get 2 max level dark weapons. Yes, this is not going to have as big of stats. I can go ahead and see what the stats would be maxed out. It's not quite as good as the current 4-star free weapon, but with that 25% boost that it's going to get from her passive ability, this would be a really good sub weapon option for your Celebratory girl Theo. And because both of these options are free, that's a big deal, and it boosts her value a little bit. Now, what I want to do next is I want to compare her to other versions of Theo, and luckily, since those other banners are still going, it's not hard for us to go look at the other versions of Theo and see where she stacks up. Okay, so let's put Celebratory Girl Theo's base stats on the screen, and then let's go look at older versions or previously available versions of Theo. And let's start with what I guess I'll call White Theo. What's her actual name? Simulacrum Girl Theo. I was using this Theo as like the third wheel kind of character in my group for a long time, but I only had 1 copy of her, so I wasn't getting nearly as good of stats as I'm going to get from my like maximum level Celebratory Girl Theo. So here's how they compare though if you maxed out both of their stats. Simulacrum Girl Theo is going to have less HP than Celebratory Girl. So White Theo is going to have less HP than New Theo. That's how I'm going to differentiate them because that's a lot easier to say. Attack, New Theo has more attack than White Theo does, but check out Simulacrum Girl Theo's defense. It's insane. 5,470 defense is like Omega Tank level defense character, but like, honestly, who cares? And that's sort of been my experience with Simulacrum Girl Theo the whole time. It's like, there's no way of drawing attacks to her specifically. Like, there's not some kind of like aggro generating companion that I have or anything. So yeah, sometimes I'd get lucky and a boss would hit her instead of somebody else. And in that situation, her defense would pop off for me. But in most situations, she just had a bunch of defense and didn't do a lot of damage. So I think Celebratory Girl Theo's stats for the current state of the game might actually be better than Simulacrum Girl Theo's. You can see they both have the same agility. Now, White Theo here gets the defense boost from Aegis and gets Pursuit, which is damage up on chain attacks of 3 or more. Generally speaking, I think Pursuit is a very good passive ability for Simulacrum Girl, but it's not as like, she's not a damage dealer, so I don't love it on her where I would like it a lot more on my heavier damage dealers. I actually think Celebratory Girl Theo might be as good as Simulacrum Girl Theo in the current state of the game. Now, I say that because Simulacrum Girl has Manifest Effort. Her skill is a 95% damage 3 times with a 30% heal for all your allies. That heal is not present on Celebratory Girl Theo. The new Theo, her skill is an attack buff to your group. So I think in the current state of the game, I'd rather have the attack buff than the heal, because most fights are just really, really explosive, and you either annihilate the enemy or they massively just destroy you because you're not ready. I'd rather have the attack buff so it pushes me over the edge, where like maybe I'm almost killing the enemy, now I am for sure, whereas sustain has not been that great yet. I've heard, however, that healing is a big deal later, so if you've invested into Simulacrum Girl Theo, I wouldn't be too sad about that. Now, there's another Theo that has come out recently, and that's Summer Girl Theo. Thank God this one's easier to say. I dig that. Let's compare their stats. Now, Summer Girl Theo has 68,900 HP. That is a big number. Like, that number is huge. It is boosted by her toughness passive that's giving her a 20% boost, but that's massive. She also has 3,200 attack compared to the 3,100 attack from new Theo. So Summer Girl Theo, a little bit more attack. Both of them, though, in that like low to middling range. So it's not a great stat on either one. Defensive-wise, Summer Girl Theo has less defense than new Theo, and they both have 1,000 agility. The skill on Summer Girl Theo is Ready, Set, Go. It's 110% damage to an enemy 3 times. The end. It's just a damage-dealing skill. I think that new Theo's skill is better than Ready, Set, Go. I actually don't think that Summer Girl Theo is like that OP of a unit. I think new Theo is probably better, but let's look at the other passive here. Summer Girl Theo also has Pursuit, so you can see she's meant to build up a chain and then use her character skill as kind of a big hit finisher. Yeah, Theo to me is not the big hit finisher. I kind of want my Theo to be more supportive, to play a role where she's boosting my other units or healing them in the case of Simulacrum Girl Theo, and Celebratory Girl Theo really fills that role well, and I think she's going to do a really great job for me in that aspect. So if you're comparing Celebratory Girl Theo to the 2 banners that are also currently available, I think Celebratory Girl is as good or better than either one of them, and therefore worth spending some of your materials on, unless you have just like an insanely OP account where you have like 3 top tier units at level 90. Guys, I've even spent some money on this game, and I don't have that. I have a level 85 Akiha, I got a level 92 P, and now I have a level 90 Celebratory Girl Theo in there with her dark weapons, pumping the rest of my team up, and it has been awesome. So I do think she's worth investing in. I think it's worth leveling up her weapon because it's dark, and that scales so well with her passive. So anyway, I hope this video has been helpful to some people who might have been on the fence about this. It's hard for me to compare her to like standard Theo because I don't have a maxed out standard Theo and I have no experience with her at all. So I'd be curious in the comments to hear some people who might have pulled normal Theo. I'd be curious to hear what you think about her and how she compares to our new Theo as well. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope y'all have a great rest of your, well, it's starting the new week tomorrow. So I hope you have a great new week, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.